you know, I mean, this could be our last hour together, Drew.
Yeah.
We don't know. If it is, we've spent it really, really well.
Yeah. Just touch this wood.
Touch the wood.
No, you know, again, I'm going back to that silly book, but they read, there was another one of these little stories where they said, when you die, God actually, you don't die because God created a new law that no one's going to die. But he found that no one would be motivated. Like over time, people went, well, I don't need to really work, you know, I'm not going to
die.
I don't have any reason to be, geez, I don't want to do that for the rest of my life.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and so if you took away the fact that you're going to die one day, there's no, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that tomorrow. It would take away all that sort of motivation.
What about the option for people who don't want to keep living this life?
Yeah. I love that idea. Did you see Logan's Run?
I did, but I can't remember it.
Well,
memory's something else that suffers in grief.
the key to it, I think about it often, because the key to it was in the future, if you turned 30, you had a little red dot.
That's right.
Yeah, and you were basically
You're
killed.
gone.
Yeah, in front of everyone. And so in the end, they actually find someone from out of town who's lived this. He's actually 70. He's got this big white beard, and they're like, "Wow, he's beautiful. Why are we killing everyone so early?" But I actually like the idea that you know, I don't want to be old and have my kids see me and spoon. Like my mate just came back from America and he's spoon feeding his old dad. You know,
Wow.
And I thought I'd rather be sent up in a rocket.
Yeah.
Go, Grandpa.
But you know, when that day comes, you won't feel that age. I bet.
Yeah, it'd be me looking through the same eyes.
Exactly. Thinking, why does everybody see me like this old person? I don't feel like that old person.
Interesting.
It is.
All right, here's another stupid one. Mork from Ork.
Yeah.
Remember Mork and Mindy?
Yes, I do.
Well, did you know from Ork, you started your life as a old person and you became young so that in your old age, people would look after you and nurture you. Oh. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
Isn't that so sweet?
It's beautiful.
When you're 80, people are going, oh, you're so cute. Look at this little one putting little booties on you. Wouldn't that be sweet?
That's cute.
I love that idea. So, your mum? She's still about?
Yes, she is.
Yeah. Are they local?
Fairly. Yeah, south end of the Gold Coast.
Right.
They're both in their 80s, my parents.
Is your dad, can I ask you? You don't have to answer. Is he still, a Christian person? Like,
yes, he is. Yeah. He is. But I really think, and I don't know if this would have happened without the deaths. They've had 16 grandchildren and lost 4, which is a lot in a Western country.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't happen a lot. But it's not common. His spiritual beliefs have shifted. They've evolved.
Yeah.
You know, whether that would have happened anyway, I don't know. You can't tell. I think my kids' deaths have brought some lovely things into my family. Yeah. I think that we value each other and we don't have to say why. We just look in each other's eyes and know. You know, I see the love and the missing of my children in my nieces and nephews, my sisters, you know, in all of them. My parents have been a big support to me in the deaths of my kids.
Yeah.
You know, I sort of wouldn't have expected that because they haven't lost any of their own, but they loved my children. You know, my dad said that to me this morning. He was remembering them all by name and what he loved about them. And
beautiful.
It is.
Sounds like a great man.
He is a great man. He's beautiful.
Yeah. That's what I was getting to before. My next door neighbour is a heavily Christian guy, and I didn't grow up with any sort of religion. I found myself moving into the Currumbin Valley, and my next door neighbour would all of a sudden show up, and like the most sweetheart people. He and his wife, they bananas would grow, so they'd drop them off every Saturday morning, and I was this rough nut from Surfers Paradise, like this, city living in a way, but going, what's this guy doing? Like, am I supposed to repay? I found myself thinking these negative thoughts straight away, like, what's this all of it? Like, I love it, but it took me a while. And then once I started to talk to him, he'd quote the Bible.
Uh-huh.
And I went, oh, no.
You thought, here we go.
And I thought, I'm going to get roped into something. I owe him now for something. But over time, it turned out he's just a sweetheart.
Oh, that's
nice. He's just really was just doing we are best mates now. We're really great friends. He's still heavily religious and Christian. And I'd say to his face, I'd never say to his face, but he quotes the Bible. It lasts about 1 minute of the hour conversation, and I just go, oh yeah, I'll listen to that. Sounds like a good story.
Yeah.
But I'm still not religious.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, I'm quoting the Bible in my book.
Yeah? Right. Well, it must be said that for some reason, like that Jesus Christ fellow, okay, must have been a character, like a
good dude.
Well, definitely, most definitely. But for some reason, he's the most famous, and he's still being mentioned today.
Yes.
So if I could take religion and the spirit stuff away, for some reason, this guy and what's written in that book, really rings with people.
Yes.
And for that, my neighbour is still quoting little stories from it to me. It
must address the aspects of human nature that don't change.
Yeah.
Because it still resonates with us as truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It feeds something in us that's hungry.
Yeah.
DMT.
I've only done mushrooms once. Actually, only once. Yeah. And so, but I cleaned the house. I had I was having a party. Some guy showed up. I didn't know him. Next minute he's cooking it with coffee or something in the thing, and I'm drinking a coffee.
Yeah.
And all I remember was nothing, but I cleaned the entire house after the party, and I was like, oh, it wasn't a bad experience. I was expecting
So you didn't see a lot?
I saw nothing, to be honest. Really nothing. And I was really young, and I was straight. I was expecting to see, whoa, I don't know, so I didn't get the experience for whatever reason. But yeah, as you know, I can't stop listening and believing the idea that this DMT that we produce in our own brains in that pineal gland, and it drips when you sleep.
The molecule.
Yeah, and you. Well, this is what I keep reading, is that when you dream, it's because that DMT is dripping, and you're having hallucinations when you sleep. And they relate to your own life.
Why do you think you have good dreams and bad dreams then from that?
I'd like to think it's frames of mind.
A little bit of internal distress about something, maybe.
Yeah, or guilt. If I've ever been guilty for something, I'll have a bad dream or something. What about you?
Do I have good dreams and bad dreams?
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yeah. You know what I heard last night? Okay, it was 2 a.m. I'm driving home from Canungra. And, yeah?
Yeah.
What?
I was just thinking about the dreams, and I wanted to mention how my children visit me in my dreams.
Yes.
Isn't that lovely? Isn't it lovely that that's possible? That's like a provision. That's just, I'm so grateful to have that. I mean, if I have to display gratitude.
Yeah. Well, that relates to what
it seems I have to, or else I'm going to implode.
Right. Well, that relates to what I was about to say. This famous guy, his name's Duncan Trussell. He's a comedian. He has one of these shows that I listen to. His mum died of cancer, and he's made a whole bunch of these shows. And he had his mum on in the months before, and she's a funny lady. She passed away with brain cancer, I'm pretty sure. So it's been another couple of years now, and he was saying last night, she said, she isn't. It was sad, but she's never left. She's actually she's always there. You still feel the love, and so I'm not surprised you have dreams.
In my dreams, some of the dreams that I have about my kids, it's very real. And with the near-death experiences, they will say that people will ask them what it was like to return to real life, and they say the experience that I had was much more real than what we call real life. And in my dreams, it feels real, especially in the first few years after. dreams I've had, especially with my big kids who've died. The dreams that I had about Simon, and I was very close to Simon. I'd be looking right in his eyes. We'd be like, how far away is that?
Yeah.
2 feet?
Yeah.
2 feet away, probably closer, probably about 1.5 feet.
Wow.
And there was one dream, one time, might have been 2 years after he died, 18 months to 2 years, and for 3 nights in a row, he visited me for very prolonged periods of time. And we were in deep discussion for hours each of those nights in my dreams about what life was like on the other side, because he and I used to talk about things like that. We talked about everything except sex. He was 18. You don't talk to your mum about sex at that age. But everything.
I still don't.
Yeah. Anyway, my mum put that word on the Scrabble board last weekend.
Wow.
I told on you, Mum. Anyway, so Simon and I used to talk about all sorts of things, and especially what life was about. He came to me when he was about 11, and he said, "What's life? What's the meaning of life, Mum?" And I said, I didn't have an answer, so I just pulled one out what felt right, and I said, to find the meaning of life.
Mm.
And so, Simon and I would have really good in-depth discussions. And what I loved about my kids, who were incredibly bright, intelligent, funny, wonderful people, was that they could take my mind places. And not many people, could do that. But, my kids did that for me. And in my dreams that I was having with Simon, he was describing life on the other side and meanings to things that I really wanted to understand. But the trouble was, by the end of the third night's dreaming, I knew that I wasn't going to be allowed to remember it in my waking life. And it all came to a conclusion with Simon about 1.5 feet away from me. And we're looking in each other's eyes really deeply. He had beautiful, big, dark brown eyes. And we're looking in each other's eyes, and he's saying just with his eyes, no words, just with his eyes, he's looking and giving me the message, right, Mum, you're about to wake up, okay? You're about to wake up, and when you wake up, you won't remember any of this. You won't be able to pull it from your conscious memory, all right? But this is real. We've been in discussion for 3 nights. And it was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. And, of course, I cried and cried and cried when I woke, but it's better to have had those experiences.
Yeah. Still there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about this one when we were talking about breastfeeding before? I've been getting into the studies they do where if the mother decides to go out and she's, I don't know, having dinner with her girlfriends over there in Tugan, I don't know, but the little baby is being cared for by grandma over there in Benoa.
Yeah.
And next minute, the baby gets hungry. Well, guess what happens?
The mother
expresses milk. Like she starts producing milk. It's the same time.
Yeah.
And so there's something in the air.
Oh, I do. I can't tell you how painful that was after Joseph died.
Oh.
I'm still producing milk and he's gone.
Well, there it is. There must be a study in that.
It
really.
Was just...
Exactly. Well,
I didn't like that. I wasn't very happy with God about that.
Yeah.
Because it was on the 1st of May, his funeral. And so, I'm on my knees putting his little tiny coffin, little white coffin into the ground. And it's the beginning of winter. He doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
And that the milk production, it slowed a bit with the shock of the death. But the aching arms that you have, they've never stopped. And there's one difference between losing a grown child and losing a baby. There's a lot of... I think that the death of a baby is a disenfranchised grief. I don't think it's acknowledged how bad it is out in the community. And I think that compared with the death of a big child, it's really hard. I said at Simon's funeral, that if I had to lose a child,